Welcome back. This is Satan's Trilogy. I am the author and the narrator. This is Book 3, Chapter 3, and it is reading 88. Sit back, relax, and let the story unfold. Day smiled as she saw everyone looking about, taking it all in. There's only one bathroom, but I may have mentioned Dad is seldom home. Day then said, Dad is working. I think that we should stop by the grocery store and say hi. I know that he would love to meet all of you. Esther smiled as Day trailed off on her comments. That's right. Dad would love to meet all of you. We need to drive by before going to my apartment. Besides, it is on the way. Esther looked at Day. Do you need to grab anything? Day looked about. No, everything I need is at your apartment. Esther smiled. Well then, let's go find Dad. It took, very little time to arrive at the store, perhaps 12 minutes. And it was close to Esther's apartment. The girls quickly climbed out of the Escalade and followed Day into the store. Business had tripled since the expansion, and the young Chinese youth that had once tried to rob Mr. Ho were now valued employees. The store now had 3 registers for when it was busy. They recognized the young man checking out a customer and shouted out hi to him. Esther did the same. As everyone followed Day into the store, she had spotted Mr. Ho in the fresh produce aisle. Mr. Ho loved keeping a large variety of produce for the Asian community that appreciated freshness and price. Mr. Ho had seen his daughters entering the store and was standing tall, watching them as they approached. He had a large smile as Esther and Day both gave him a hug. Father, said Day, want you to meet Terry, Caitlin, Sasha, Rita, and of course, you have met Amy before. Mr. Ho shook hands with each girl, saying it was wonderful to meet them. I am going to guess that all of you are in the 6th-hour running class, said Mr. Ho. Why would you say that, Father? Asked Day. You all look very fit. That is how I knew. Mr. Ho grinned. Besides, tomorrow is the big day. It makes sense that you would be with some of your classmates. Day smiled. We are all staying the night at Esther's apartment, and we'll all go to the school tomorrow for the bus ride to the state competition. I hope you all do very well, and for some reason, I sense that you will. Mr. Ho smiled. I want to thank all of you for stopping here tonight and saying hello. I will be there tomorrow to cheer all of you on. Day hugged her father. I am so excited. I think our class is going to do wonderful, and you will be there to see it. Day hugged her father again. We'll see you tomorrow. Esther gave her father a hug. Good night, Father. Giving him a kiss on the cheek, Esther then followed the other girls out of the store. The girls again filed into the Escalade. Finally, they were headed towards Esther's apartment. Pulling into a front parking spot, just inches away from Esther's Ninja, Day yelled out, We're home! Opening her door and helping the girls to pile out with their bags, Day grinned as she was excited to have so many girls staying with her and Esther. Follow Esther. We'll be there in seconds, said Day. Esther led all 5 girls to her apartment and then slowly opened the door to see if Aunt Brandy was there. All was fine. Brandy had been watching a late-night talk show. A young dancer was performing as Brandy jumped up and turned off the television to greet them. Brandy was wearing some microfiber white pajamas and had removed all of her makeup. She was still stunning, with her solitaire diamond earrings sparkling as she approached the girls. Everyone entered the apartment, and Esther quickly introduced the girls to Aunt Brandy, taking the time to mention that Terry would be staying with them for a while. Brandy was thrilled. She had never seen so many young girls at once in her apartment, and they were all very attractive in her opinion. Brandy was thrilled so many girls were staying the night. She had arranged to have Saturday off so that she could watch the race. "This is so exciting," said Brandy. "I will be cheering for everyone tomorrow. I know that you are all winners, and I am so cheering all of you on." Brandy smiled at the girls as she studied each one individually. "Tomorrow, you show the rest of Chicago and the state what Grant High School girls are made of." "I am so excited," said Brandy. "Do you mind if I give everyone a tour of the apartment, including your rooms?" asked Esther. "Of course not," said Brandy. "I am so proud of my closet, and what woman wouldn't be?" Brandy giggled. Esther led the girls to Brandy's end of the apartment and showed off her bathroom and her bedroom. Then she opened the double doors to Brandy's closet, proclaimed, "And here is every woman's dream." All 5 girls, with Day and Esther standing by their side, gazed into the walk-in closet. It was enormous and beautiful. Shoes were organized on the far wall, with dresses against the wall on the right side. The left side of the room held dozens of Brandy's foldable clothes, some jeans, shirts, and sweaters, folded and neatly placed into small cubicles that defined their use. The girls slowly entered the closet as they gazed at the high level of organization. The center island of drawers held undergarments of various needs and some sleepwear. A large set of mirrors caught Terry's attention. She walked to the far left corner and stood in front of a grouping of mirrors which allowed her to view most of her body. Brandy watched as each girl received the view in a slightly different way of admiration. "I truly love this room," said Brandy, as the girls looked about. Terry had made a full circle and stood outside of the closet, gazing in. "It is like a beautiful painting." Terry stood motionless, studying the large room in front of her. Eventually, all the girls walked out of the closet and waited for the rest of the tour. Brandy walked up to Terry and hugged her, then smiled at her with a long, loving face. "Terry," said Brandy, "you know that you can have anything that you are willing to work for. With the school's new scholarship program, you have nearly unlimited possibilities, and if this closet is what you want in your future, you will be able to achieve it." Terry turned to Brandy and smiled. "You're right," said Terry. "There are no obstacles in my way anymore." And with that said, Esther started to move everyone to the other part of the house. "Follow me," said Esther. "The tour has only just begun." Esther smiled at the girls, and Day was grinning with pride. Brandy followed along too. Esther stopped at her bathroom. "Aunt Brandy has a wonderful closet, but I have a wonderful bathroom." Esther grinned. "The shower can easily hold 4 people comfortably." Day grinned at the suggestion. Everyone took a look at the shower as they filed in and out of the bathroom. "This is my spare room." Esther looked at Terry. "If you don't mind, you and I can share this room." Esther grinned. I just need access to it, is all. Esther then moved open one of the closet doors to exposing her computers. I use the internet to keep in touch with a few friends that live on the other side of our earth. Our night is their day, and so I sometimes chat with them in the early hours of the morning, Esther grinned. Terry didn't seem bothered or impressed by Esther's request. Esther, said Terry, I am your guest. I will gladly follow your lead on anything. Day spoke up. Let's get the mattresses out and inflate them. It's really cool to watch. Esther slid open another door and pulled out 3 inflatable sleeping mattresses. Quickly pulling them out of their sacks, Esther plugged all 3 into a wall outlet, and in less than a minute, there were 3 full-size mattresses on the floor. Once inflated, Esther turned off the blowers and unplugged them. With the bedroom floor nearly full with air mattresses, the girls were all excited. Brandy was watching from behind everyone, and she commented today, I don't know how she does it, but Esther is always ready for any situation. Esther had reached back into the closet and pulled out a large folded piece of material. Brandy watched closely as Esther threw the material out in front of her while holding on to a small corner of it. Quickly, the material had unfolded and was nearly covering the air mattresses. Esther leaned down, pulled the material to her left while raising it and creating a slight wave to reposition it. The mattresses were now covered with a velvet blanket. Dark burgundy was the color, and it looked so inviting that all the girls moved onto the mattresses, quickly sitting in a circle. Esther looked at her aunt and asked, May we use some of your pillows tonight, Aunt Brandy? Finally, Esther needed some help with something, and Brandy was delighted, quickly asking, How many do you need, Esther? Esther looked at the girls relaxing on the mattress, then asked, Does anyone need 2 pillows to sleep? Oh my gosh, Esther, how did you know? I always sleep with 2 pillows, shouted out Amy. Sasha spoke up too. I wouldn't mind having 2 if you have them. Esther quickly looked up at Brandy. I have 6 pillows, and we need 9. Do you have 3 to spare? Brandy turned to Day. Will you please help me? Brandy was already taking off towards her bedroom, and Day quickly followed. In a little time, Brandy and Day came back with 3 pillows and handed them out to the girls needing them. Brandy spoke up. I'll let you girls enjoy the rest of the evening while I go to bed. I want to be fresh tomorrow morning for your run, and I am certain that I need more sleep than any of you. Brandy said goodnight to everyone as she hugged Day and Esther goodnight, and then left for her room. Perhaps we should all prepare for bed, and then we'll tell stories before falling to sleep. And in the morning, I will prepare a wonderful breakfast for fast runners such as ourselves, said Esther. The bathroom will hold all of us, and I have plenty of towels for everyone. Esther smiled. If anyone wants to enjoy some silk nighties, I have enough for everyone. They can offer help in removing your gothic makeup. I know she removes hers every night. Esther tossed this thought out as she headed towards the bathroom. Day quickly spoke up. You probably don't want to sleep with your makeup on, especially the dark gothic makeup. Sasha and Rita were following Esther, and Amy, Caitlin, and Terry were listening to Day. I don't know what everyone has on their face, but keeping your skin clean is very important. If soap and water doesn't remove your makeup, then it's oil-based, and I have some cleanser here that will do the trick. Day started for the bathroom and said, I don't know how I don't know about you girls, but I'll need to shower after I cleanse my face." Esther was already leaning over the sink, washing off her water-soluble eye makeup. She was commenting, "I think it is more work to remove this makeup than it is to put it on. We all need to make certain it is all removed so that our skin can breathe tonight." Esther leaned back away from the mirror and said, "There, done at last." Quickly, Esther removed her bath towel and stepped into the shower. Amy quickly followed her, offering to wash Esther's back. Esther took a look at the eyeliner and makeup running down Amy's face and said, "Amy, let me help clean your face first." Esther immediately started to cleanse Amy's face with the face towel in her hand and the bar soap on the shower wall. After some soft scrubbing, Esther proclaimed, "Done. You are once again the beautiful Irish girl I recognize." Amy smiled. Esther turned and said, "Please give my back a quick washing." Terry was walking into the shower, and when she saw Esther's back with the dragon on it, she said, "Wow, that is one awesome work of art." Terry stood next to Amy and showered, enjoying some sprays of water that were reaching Amy and Esther. Turning around, Esther smiled at Terry. "The dragon is a work of art." Esther then quickly said, "I am done," glancing at Amy. Esther said, "Thanks again for the back scrub." Esther left the shower as Sasha and Rita stepped in. Esther giggled and commented, "I love this large shower. I will see you both in the bedroom." They had their hands out in front of them as they were testing the temperature of the water. It was great, and they quickly joined Terry as Amy was leaving. Esther set up several hair dryers for everyone that would need one. Within a few minutes, the bathroom had 4 hair dryers blowing air onto wet hair. Esther had just finished taking care of some breakfast items and was moving into the bedroom to prepare for the late night stories. Esther spent several minutes on her computer. She typed at an amazing speed and was covering her nightly correspondence in record time. As Esther pulled the door closed to her computer, Amy and Day entered the room. Day had some new and slightly more revealing black nighties on while Amy had decided to wear a set of pink silk pajamas offered by Esther. The room slowly filled with all 7 girls. The chatter became louder as each girl joined the room. Esther pulled the door shut and commented as she returned to her chosen place on the mattress, "This room has been soundproofed. With the door shut, the sounds we make will stay in here." "Wow, that is awesome," said Caitlin. "I wish my room was soundproofed." "No kidding," said Rita. "I seldom go to sleep before midnight, so I have to wear headphones to prevent disturbing others." "My room is at the other end of our apartment, but Mom still complains she can hear my talking on the phone," said Terry. "Yet the people above our apartment never complain." "Esther," said Amy, "I see a cello in the corner. Is that why you have a soundproof room, so that you can practice late at night?" Esther waited a moment to answer. "No, a friend of my father did this for me. He wanted this room to be impenetrable to electronic surveillance, and the soundproofing was a secondary advantage." "Esther, are you good on the cello?" asked Amy. Esther grinned. "My teacher told me that I am very good, but she said that I will never be great because my fingers are tight." Esther smiled. "It's from hours of practicing hand strikes with my fingers that they are tight." Esther appeared a bit sad. "Second to cooking, I love the cello." There was silence in the room for a moment. The girls had all felt Esther's loss in her striving to enjoy something she loved. Then, simultaneously, everyone begged Esther to play something. Esther paused a moment, then realized her opportunity to showcase the cello to her friends. Without a word, Esther got up and turned to her instrument. Sitting on a chair in the corner, it was protected in a case which was placed on the floor, and slowly opened it. Lifting the instrument out of the case, she pulled the chair from the corner forward and sat on the very edge of it, quickly adjusting the end pin and fine-tuning the instrument. She then reached into the case and pulled out the bow. Slowly, Esther took rosin and pulled it over the threads of the bow. Smiling softly at her instrument, Esther looked up and said, "I grew up playing Bach, but why don't I play something we'll all recognize? How about Adele's Rolling in the Deep?" Putting the rosin away, Esther raised the bow. The girls had all quickly settled into a more comfortable position to listen to the music, initially plucking a few notes to tune the instrument. Esther then used the bow to play. Watching the bow glide across the strings, Esther lost herself in the music. Day started to hum, and she sang a line. Sasha continued with the next verse, and Rita picked up the third. Everyone softly sang the chorus. Esther was wrapped up in the cello and didn't join the singing. Amazingly, the girls had done a wonderful job of singing the song. As Esther finished the song, she grinned at everyone. "Wow," said Esther. "Y'all have beautiful voices. That was amazing." The girls had all suddenly become tired and realized that the time was late. The singing had been fun and the night had been wonderful, but everyone was ready for some sleep. Esther put the cello back into the case and returned it to its original position. She then laid down between Amy and Terry. Day was on the other side of Amy and had nearly fallen asleep. Esther dimmed the lights with the remote control in her pocket. 4.5 hours later, Esther was wide awake and ready to start another day. I'm going to stop there. That was reading 88. Hope you enjoyed it. So until the next time, please be safe and take care.